Hey everybody, welcome to Maggie Tips. Today we're going to talk about virtual meetings and how to look your best on them. And those could be Hangouts or Zoom meetings, or even if you're doing a FaceTime, you want to look great either for your coworkers or your kids or your friends, whoever you're having that virtual meeting with. So first of all, let's talk about lighting. Right now, you always want to have the lighting coming to your face, not behind. If it's coming from behind, you go into silhouette. But I'm using what's called a ring light, and this is kind of a big fancy light that's about $100, and it's very transportable and you can fold it up. Now you can see how with the light on me I look, I hope, okay, but without the light I don't look as good. I go into a darker, kind of sadder, no light is picking anything up. So getting either a ring light, or there are smaller handheld lights, there are selfie lights that you can use, and all of those just really add to make you look better when you're talking to your friends or family. The other thing you want to do is not, if you're looking on a computer, you don't want to be looking down on the computer. Very few people look good when they're looking down. So I always have a pile of stuff here that I can prop my phone on top of. I kind of stack things. I think I've got crackers here, I've got my iPad, and then you can have this little thing that's a mini tripod, and you fit your camera in it. There's a device in here that you can put your phone in it, and then you're looking at it either eye level or ideally just elevated slightly. If it's elevated slightly, you look better. So once you have that all set up, everything's set up, your light, and how you're going to have your cell phone or computer. You can put your computer on there also so that it's eye level or a little bit above. You just want to make sure all this is at its best. So always keep a little mirror next to you before you go on. Check your teeth, make sure you don't have any junk in there, maybe look up there, make sure there's no junk up there. Kind of look around your face, notice, make sure there's nothing that's kind of jumping out at you. The one thing that happens frequently is people get either a little shiny or dewy, and it may look good to the eye, but on camera it doesn't. So I always like to keep either a dry foundation or a translucent powder. You just gently tap it and then touch the zones that look a little bit hot or too shiny. And it's usually the forehead, usually along the tip of the nose and down here. So just kind of, get the shine down. One of my favorite tips, and anybody who's ever watched a Maggie Tips knows that I love highlighters, is to take your highlighter and just put it at the very high point of your cheek, not from the middle back, not from the middle forward, because then it just looks a little too shiny and then you get into that problem. But going back, do not go up into the crow's feet, just go back to the temple on each side, and then a little dusting right above your upper lip. And then I always go in with a Q-tip and get the inside corner of my eye, just for another little sparkle right there. Now you also want to have your concealer nearby. Once you've looked to see if anything is casting a shadow, you take the color of your skin and just go right where there's frequently shadows. And people forget to do this inside corner of your nose, right under here. Doing the under the eyes is obvious and up into there, but this is the little thing most people don't think about. And if you have any little blemish, you may want to touch that up. And then you want to make sure your hair is not distracting. I mean, the whole thing is you don't want things to be distracting, and for after the Zoom meeting, for everybody to say, oh, anybody see what's going on in her house? You want to make sure that your hair is kind of in place and not going rogue. If you have hair pulled back like I frequently do, you want to make sure there's a little height on top. Otherwise if you look like this, it looks like you're wearing a swim cap. If I didn't have my fringe, it's just hair pulled back. And in case you have any hairs that are going off, I frequently get hairs, my face frame sticks up out of here. You just gently put them back in place. And you want to have some hair showing if you can, maybe a little bit. You don't want too much because then that's overwhelming. Just maybe a little bit of hair. And then earrings. If you have anything that's too big, it becomes distracting. If you're going like this and your earrings are flying all over the place. My morning show hostess, who I love this one morning show, and I love this woman who is the anchor, but she always wears these big earrings and they get caught in her clothes and they turn around, and it's so distracting. I can't stop watching her earrings and waiting for that to happen. So it's better to go with something small, something that isn't going to be so in your face and something where people can't, they want to pay attention to what you're saying, not to what's going on here. And finally, if you have a neck that you're not, happy with the way it's looking lately, a lot of women are opting for turtlenecks, or in my case, I have a wraparound scarf here that can hide your neck so that all of the focus is on what you're saying, what you're doing, and how you're having fun. I know I have a little bit of a shadow here, and that's by choice. I like having a shadow, and I deliberately set up where I don't have a lot of stuff going on behind me, because I think that can also be a distraction. So I think we're in good shape. Thank you for coming to Maggie Tips, and I hope you have a great virtual meeting.